Talk, shop, pop, movies.
Ahoy there, this is Derek, the Convicted Cinephile, and if you're a convicted cinephile yourself, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel down below. On my channel, I like to talk, shop, and pop open, that is, movies and physical media. So our friend Huck over at Huck's Pop Culture Cafe has issued yet another challenge, the top 5 television duos. And I decided to do just one better and do my top 5 duos from my favorite TV show of all time, The Simpsons. Yes, you've heard it before, probably me talking about it. I am a diehard Simpsons fan, always have been. Yes, the newer ones aren't as great as the old ones, but I could watch the first dozen or so seasons of that show over and over again. I literally watch it like every night when I go to bed. So that's how much I like it. So, what are my top 5 favorite duos from The Simpsons? Here is number 5. I thought I'd go a little meta here and do my favorite television duo from my favorite television show from my favorite television show from the show that's my favorite. I'm going to go with Itchy and Scratchy. Yes, the animated television cartoons within the Simpsons universe itself, even though sometimes they're like literal characters like that interact with humans on the occasional episode, but who cares? It's a cartoon, right? It doesn't all have to make sense. But Itchy and Scratchy have been there essentially from the beginning. They're still there now. They were in the movie. They have classic episodes that are always hilarious to me, even though we only see bits and pieces of them. There was an episode where Bart and Lisa were writing for the show itself, so there was a lot of good gags there. Parts where Poochie had to be involved and ruin the duo entirely. Itchy and Scratchy is an iconic duo from The Simpsons. They even have their own theme park, Itchy and Scratchy Land.
All right, we're here. Let us never speak of the shortcut again. Now remember, we're in the itchy lot.
We're now approaching our final destination, Itchy and Scratchy Land, the amusement park of the future where nothing can possibly go wrong. Possibly go wrong. That's the first thing that's ever gone wrong.
Oh. Because of that, they're even iconic within the iconic duos. I had to make them at least number 5. Number 4 is obviously a personal favorite of mine because that's the whole point of the video. But it's one that most people probably wouldn't really think of because you could sort of pair this person with multiple characters, but this is easily my favorite. And he's one of my favorite characters to begin with, Principal Seymour Skinner. You could have picked Superintendent Chalmers. That would have been great. I almost thought of that. You could do Skinner and Miss Krabappel. That's a great one too, but my favorite Skinner duo is him and his mother. His psycho-esque relationship with his mother has always been one of my favorites.
Oh, there's Mother now. Watching me. What's that, Mother? Well, they have a right to be here. It's school business. Mother, that sailor suit doesn't fit anymore.
Old school Skinner and Agnes jokes, that's her name by the way, Agnes, I believe, are some of the funniest things ever. And she just gets meaner and meaner as the show continues, to the point where she's just insulting him and embarrassing him in front of everybody just for having to go to the bathroom and stupid stuff like that, calling him a miserable failure.
Lost your spine, huh? You just keep finding new ways to disappoint me.
Any chance she gets. Skinner and Agnes, always hilarious. Everything they do, from their interventions to their silhouette nights.
Seymour! Tell me what time it is! Now!
7 o'clock Friday night, Mother. Time for our weekly silhouette.
No! Cutting out your ugly nose gives me a hand cramp.
Oh, but you love silhouette night. And then we go through your bird book and make up silly captions. Mother, why are you all dressed up?
I'm sick of this house and I'm sick of you. Tonight we're going for a drive.
What's so special about tonight?
Nothing. Now put on your special suit and get in the car.
Yes, Mother.
There's not a day that goes by between those two that isn't hilarious. So that is why they are my number 4 favorite duo from The Simpsons. Here we are in the middle at number 3. I forgot to mention it at the beginning of the video, but I am choosing 5 duos, none of which that include an actual member of the Simpsons family. Because you could do Homer and Marge, or Bart and Homer, Lisa and Maggie, whatever. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But I wanted to do the side characters even more so because they're often even funnier than the actual Simpsons themselves. They got all the good moments. So here's my number 3, Lenny and Carl.
If you ask me, Muhammad Ali in his prime was much better than anti-lock brakes.
Yeah, but what about Johnny Mathis versus Diet Pepsi?
Yes, as we all know, Lenny is black and Carl is white. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Lenny is white, Carl is black, and that's essentially their whole joke. But they have this like running best friend thing going on throughout the whole show, even though they constantly hate each other.
Hey, Homer, see you at Moe's?
He put new electrical tape on the cushions.
Sorry, guys. Marge and I are spending the weekend at a bed and breakfast.
Oh, trying to jumpstart the old marriage, huh?
Can I come?
Nah, it'd just be awkward. Well, with the sex and all.
Yeah, I always figured Marge would be a dynamo in the sack, you know?
Oh, boy, she's got legs from here to yaya.
How do you do, ma'am?
Hope this evening finds you well.
No, knock it off, you perverts.
Even their wives in a later episode, when they have wives randomly, look like each other. So Lenny's wife just looks like a female Carl and vice versa. Like I said, they give each other crap all the time. Mostly Carl making fun of Lenny for being a dumbass. But Lenny and Carl are very much so a thing, to the point where they're essentially like a gay joke back in the older days of the show.
Homie, you married every gay couple in town.
What can I say? I love love.
Well, all you can do now is wait for some other guys to turn.
Where's Lenny and Carl?
Don't you push them. They've got to work that out for themselves.
Even Bart was throwing dough around. He paid me and Carl $1,000 to kiss each other.
Hey, did we ever get that money?
Because they're always together, and it's always very ambiguous. So that is my number 3. Speaking of gay jokes back in the 90s, here is my number 2, Mr. Smithers and C. Montgomery Burns. And they're both voiced by Harry Shearer, which makes it even more impressive that he could do such amazing characters against one another with completely different voices. Classic Simpsons right here.
Hello, Smithers. You're quite good at turning me on.
You probably should ignore that.
Essentially the villain of the show, but he's always just as lovable as anyone else because he's just this hilarious old codger of a thing. We all know who he is.
Dreamed about her again last night, Smithers. You know that dream where you're in bed and they fly in through the window?
And Mr. Smithers is essentially his manservant assistant who does literally anything he wants. Burns and Smithers. It doesn't get much more iconic than that. It's hard to top that. It's hard to top Burns and Smithers. Like I said, especially given the fact that they're the same actor performing both characters every time. And what is my number 1? How do you top Burns and Smithers, especially without using any of the members of the Simpsons family themselves? I debated. I mean, every one of these pairs was potentially a number 1. I thought of doing, Milhouse and Bart, but then I was like, I don't want to use the Simpsons. I don't want to do that. I thought about Patty and Selma, but I thought that was just too obvious. And to be honest, as great as those characters are, I like all these other ones a little better. What could possibly be the best duo in the history of The Simpsons? And I think it's pretty obvious once you hear it. It is the mere concept of Employee of the Month and an inanimate carbon rod.
I can't believe we've overlooked this week's winner for so very, very long. We simply could not function without his tireless efforts. So, a round of applause for this inanimate carbon rod.
How'd you solve the door dilemma?
Homer Simpson was the real hero here. He jury-rigged the door closed using this.
Hey, what is that?
It's an inanimate carbon rod.
about to show some close-ups of the rod.
Yes, that is my number one duo from the show, my favorite show. Employee of the Month and an inanimate carbon rod. Please go do Huck's challenge as well. I may or may not be doing a regular TV top 5 as well. Once I nail this one down, I might start diving into that one because that sounds fun too, but I just love The Simpsons too much not to talk about them first. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Homer, you're making us a little bit uncomfortable.
Relax, big guy. He's just doing this for his art. Right, Homer?
Oh, yeah. Art.
Talk, shop, pop, movies.